Oh, sweet cosmic surprises. Picture this, the icy tundra of Alaska, a wild, untouched expanse stretching endlessly beneath a sky smeared with the ghostly hues of the northern lights, flickering like some ethereal symphony playing just for this moment. The air is razor-sharp, biting through jackets and skin alike, but beneath the cold, the world pulses with an electric thrill, a quiet calm masking the storm about to erupt. Suddenly, there they stand, Barack Obama, the poised, steady visionary with that calm, calculating glint in his eye, and Gordon Ramsay, a volcano of fiery passion and no-nonsense grit, sweat mingling with the frozen mist as their gazes lock on the monstrous, ancient creature before them, the last known dinosaur, a beast so gargantuan and surreal it bends reality itself. Obama's mind races, strategizing, weighing the impossible ethics of cooking what feels like a living fossil from the dawn of time, heart-hammering with a cocktail of awe, disbelief, and the heavy burden of leadership, while Ramsay's volcanic temper ignites, muscles tensing as his chef's instinct screams both challenge and danger. His mind a whirlwind of curiosity and wild ambition tinged with a primal respect for the raw power staring back at them. Their bodies betray their turmoil, Obama's breath visible in the frozen air, steadying himself with a clenched jaw, while Ramsay's fingers twitch near knives that seem laughably tiny compared to the gargantuan scales glinting in the icy sunlight. Nearby, a ragtag team of specialists flutters around, Dr. Elena Vasquez, a brilliant but nervously jittery paleontologist who's practically vibrating with the thrill of this once-in-a-millennium discovery, and Jack Icebreaker Malone, a grizzled, sarcastic Alaskan guide whose rugged exterior hides a profound loyalty to the duo, eyes sharp, hands always on his snowmobile's throttle, sensing the creeping danger but ready to face it head-on. The atmosphere is thick with tension, silent whispers of the wind mingling with the distant crackle of ice shifting beneath them, nature holding its breath as if to watch this bizarre coalition of brains and bravado attempt the impossible. Every second is charged with paradoxical calm and chaos, the edge of the world feeling like the edge of sanity itself, and in that frozen tableau, the personalities shine through their reactions, Obama's calm pragmatism, Ramsay's fiery intensity, Elena's bubbling excitement, and Jack's steely skepticism, all weaving a tapestry of anticipation and dread. The mystery looms large, unresolved, a shadow stretching long and dark behind the dinosaur's massive form, promising a wild, unfathomable adventure just waiting to explode into the unknown. As the initial wave of shock began to ebb, giving way to a raw, simmering resolve, Barack Obama's cool intellect immediately kicked into overdrive, his mind threading through a labyrinth of possibilities and consequences, while Gordon Ramsay's fierce determination burned hotter than ever, his hands already itching to tame the untamable beast before them with the precision of a master chef and the daring of a fearless pioneer. Together, they convened with Dr. Elena Vasquez and Jack Icebreaker Malone amidst the biting Alaskan cold, their breaths mingling in the frigid air as they debated the path forward, Obama advocating for cautious investigation steeped in science and diplomacy, Ramsay urging bold action, convinced that understanding the creature demanded both respect and fearlessness, Elena excitedly clutching fossil samples and muttering about DNA and evolutionary anomalies, and Jack, with a wary eye scanning the icy horizon, warning of dangers lurking not just in the frozen wilderness but in the unknown forces that had preserved this prehistoric leviathan. Deciding to split their efforts, Obama organized a high-tech camp of scientists and strategists to gather data, deploy drones to map the terrain, and analyze the dinosaur's biology without causing harm, while Ramsay, alongside Jack and Elena, ventured closer to the colossal beast, their every step crunching ominously on frozen tundra, each breath a cloud of uncertainty as they navigated treacherous ice crevices and unstable ground that threatened to swallow them whole. Yet, physical challenges were just the beginning, for with each discovery came a flood of mental and emotional turbulence. Obama wrestled with the ethical dilemma of exploiting or preserving this living relic, haunted by the ghosts of history and the weight of leadership, while Ramsay battled his own fierce impatience and growing obsession, the fire of his ambition clashing with a deepening respect for the creature's majesty and mystery. Elena teetered between scientific zeal and the creeping fear that they might be unearthing forces beyond human control. And Jack's stoic exterior cracked as old survival instincts clashed with the stark realization that this was no ordinary hunt but a dance with something primordial and potentially catastrophic. Just as their efforts began to bear tentative fruit, strange energy readings pulsing from the dinosaur's scales, inexplicable shifts in the weather, and subtle movements suggesting intelligence or awareness, new figures emerged from the swirling snowstorms. A shadowy faction of mercenaries armed with cutting-edge weaponry, led by the enigmatic and ruthless Victor Sable, whose own motives were shrouded in ice-cold calculation and personal vendettas, instantly turning the wilderness into a powder keg of conflict and suspicion, forcing our heroes to reconsider alliances and trust. The tension ratcheted higher as unseen forces seemed to twist reality around them, whispers of ancient secrets and modern conspiracies blending into a chaotic storm of uncertainty. Every step forward birthed more questions than answers, and the fragile thread of hope they clung to stretched thinner by the minute. In this crucible of frozen beauty and simmering danger, their internal battles raged fiercely, courage wrestling fear, wisdom challenging impulsiveness, loyalty tested against suspicion, and as the eerie aurora danced overhead, the journey ahead promised to be a relentless odyssey into the heart of mystery and peril, where every choice might mean salvation or annihilation. The frozen silence of the Alaskan night wrapped around them like a heavy cloak as Barack Obama, Gordon Ramsay, Dr. Elena Vasquez, and Jack Icebreaker Malone stood on the ragged edge of destiny, the weight of everything they had endured pressing down with a relentless intensity. Every moment of doubt, every fracture in trust, every brush with death had sharpened their resolve to a razor's edge as they prepared for the ultimate confrontation with Victor Sable, the merciless antagonist whose cold intellect and ruthless ambition had been the dark thread weaving through their nightmare. Victor's weakness, as they painstakingly uncovered, lay in his overconfidence and his underestimation of the raw, unpredictable power of both the ancient dinosaur and the unified spirit of their unlikely alliance, a fatal flaw that Obama intended to exploit with a meticulous strategy grounded in patience and precision, while Ramsay readied himself to strike with fierce, unrelenting force, his honed instincts translating into battlefield tactics, Elena armed with the latest scientific breakthroughs and a burning passion to protect the ancient life she revered, and Jack, steady as the glaciers themselves, ready to navigate the treacherous terrain and shield his comrades from the brutal chaos ahead. Together, they marshaled their resources, high-tech gear humming with frozen energy, makeshift weapons forged from the unforgiving landscape, and, perhaps most crucially, the emotional steel forged from shared trials, fears faced head-on and hardened into determination, each character silently wrestling with their own inner demons as they made final, soul-searing decisions that could either save or doom them all, from Obama's resolve to trust in diplomacy even as the threat loomed large, to Ramsay's vow to channel his tempestuous fire into a calculated, devastating blow, Elena's desperate hope that science and compassion could tame the wild unknown, and Jack's unwavering commitment to the fragile thread of camaraderie holding them together. The air was thick with a haunting stillness, the calm before the storm that crackled with the promise of chaos and calamity, every breath a prayer, every heartbeat a countdown, as the aurora borealis flared overhead like a cosmic signal heralding the clash of titans, human ingenuity and passion against cold ambition and ancient power, an epic showdown where the fate of not just the dinosaur, but the fragile balance between past and future, life and death, hung by the thinnest, most precarious of threads, poised on the brink of an earth-shattering eruption that would echo through time itself. The icy wilderness erupted into a maelstrom of chaos as Barack Obama, Gordon Ramsay, Elena Vasquez, and Jack Icebreaker Malone faced the full and terrifying force of Victor Sable's mercenary onslaught, the clash echoing like thunder across the frozen tundra where ancient history and ruthless modern ambition collided in a tempest of violence and desperate hope. Every decision, every sacrifice they had made up to this point, Obama's strategic calm, Ramsay's fierce courage, Elena's unwavering belief in science and life, and Jack's steadfast survival instincts, were tested to their absolute limits as the colossal dinosaur, sensing the peril around it, roared a primal challenge that shook the very earth beneath them, throwing the battlefield into an unpredictable frenzy where bullets and ice, intellect and instinct, courage and fear collided in a brutal symphony of survival. The stakes could not have been higher. The fate of the last known dinosaur, a living relic of an ancient world, balanced precariously against Victor's merciless plan to exploit the creature's power for personal gain, threatening to unleash devastation that could ripple through ecosystems and human history alike. The emotional toll was staggering. Obama's stoic leadership cracked under the pressure of lives hanging by a thread. Ramsay's fiery bravado masked a deep fear of failure and loss. Elena wrestled with the heartbreak of witnessing the very creature she had dedicated her life to protecting become a pawn in a deadly game. And Jack fought to keep his resolve steady even as exhaustion and pain threatened to consume him. The defining moment came when, amid the chaos, Ramsay risked everything to distract Victor's forces, channeling his fiery passion into a bold, nearly reckless maneuver that created the opening Obama needed to outsmart the mercenaries, while Elena, with trembling hands and a heart full of hope, administered a daring scientific intervention to stabilize the dinosaur, harnessing its dormant energy to repel the invaders. The tide turned, but not without sacrifice. The price was steep, marked by scars both physical and emotional, a reminder that victory often demands more than bravery alone. In the aftermath, as the biting winds began to calm and the aurora borealis softened to a gentle glow, the survivors stood forever changed, Obama more contemplative, carrying the weight of hard-won wisdom, Ramsay tempered by humility, his fire now guided by newfound purpose, Elena renewed in her commitment to the fragile dance between nature and humanity, and Jack, a silent guardian marked by the harsh lessons of survival and loyalty. Their actions left an indelible mark on the world, a fragile piece forged in the crucible of conflict. A story whispered among the ice and stars about courage, sacrifice, and the eternal struggle to protect what is precious against the darkness. And as this epic saga closes, remember, the adventure never truly ends. Subscribe to stay on the edge of discovery, because the next chapter, the next mystery, is always just beyond the horizon.